Hello, Leo, and welcome to Indigo Rising Tarot. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope you're having a great day. This will be your weekly reading for the week of June 22nd through the 28th. And during that time, we will have a waning crescent moon. And of course, that's a good time of surrender, rest, and healing. A time to let go, rest, and just get ready for the new cycle that is coming up. We then move into the new moon territory, and that happens on the 25th or 26th, depending on where you are. And of course, that's a time for a fresh start, new beginning, good time to learn a new skill, start new projects, make new decisions, that sort of thing. So please keep those moon energies in mind as we move through the week. This will be an intuitive general reading for the energies that you may or may not encounter, Leo. So of course, please take what resonates and leave what doesn't for someone else. And your overall message for this reading: balance, spirituality, and practicality. Never bad advice. All right, Leo, and since my readings are free to you, all that I ask in return is that you hit that subscribe button right down there. And if you like the reading today, you can hit the like button as well. It really helps my channel, helps with the algorithm, and just kind of pushes my videos out there, and it's super easy for you to do. So I will give you a moment while I'm shuffling to do that right now. Thank you so much. And if you've been a subscriber, thank you so much for coming back and helping me build a community here. I see you and I appreciate you. All right. And my weekly reminder this week, Leo, is that you get out in nature this week. Take a walk in the woods, maybe go on a hike. Find a beautiful park or an area that has a lovely view. Maybe watch a sunset, maybe watch a sunrise if you're a morning person. That's a lot of cards, so we're going to put those back in the shuffle. Come on, cards. Let's cooperate here. Anyway, but just take the time to really get out in nature and stop and just connect. Maybe take the time to study a tree or a plant for longer than you normally would, or watch birds. That's something I do. I watch the nature in my backyard quite a bit. And it's just super relaxing. It's very meditative to do that. So that's just my weekly reminder, is that you just kind of close your eyes and connect with nature and enjoy this week. All right, Leo, June 22nd through the 28th, balance, spirituality, and practicality. Let's see what you guys have going on this week. Your present energy, 6 of Cups, which can sometimes be about reminiscing. It could sometimes be about thinking about things from your past or from your childhood. It can sometimes, reflect some people that might come up from those times too. But it's kind of just enjoy the moment. So if you're gathering with friends, or, hanging out with those type of people this week, just really enjoy the moment. Great energy there. Your current situation is the 2 of Cups. So you may be coming together specifically with someone, someone from your past, maybe someone you haven't seen in a while, and you get to hang out and have a good time together, and just kind of reconnect. So, this could mean something too in the relationship realm. It could be that you meet someone that you feel like you can kind of exchange openly with and be very comfortable talking with. Hello, kitty. Where are you? I hear you. But yeah, 2 of Cups, and it could be someone from your past too that just kind of reconnect and yeah, have a good conversation with. And so just really enjoy that time when you come across that person this week. At the root of your situation is the Ace of Pentacles. So this could be something that happens, as you're doing something to pursue Pentacles. This could be something that happens, with your job, or some way that you make money, or something that you do in the material world. Could be how this whole interaction comes about. So maybe again, like maybe it's a job that you're at, and someone either from your past, or you just meet someone new. It could be too that maybe reminds you of someone from your past. So so keep that in mind. That's kind of the root of how this whole thing comes about for you. In your recent past is the King of Swords. So you're coming into this situation. Well, there you are. Hi, kitty. Do you want to talk to? Hi, kitty. So you're coming into the situation, The King of Swords is very knowledgeable about their own intellect and their own manner of speaking. They, just confident, very much know who they are, but also knowledgeable about their kingdom, and very aware of how other people around them work, how they speak, how they communicate. And that's kind of the situation that's kind of the energy that you're bringing into your current situation right now. What is on your mind this week is the Three of Swords, which is kind of this is our card of brokenheartedness, but also it's air energy. So it could just be, kind of disappointment in an intellectual realm also. So that's something that's definitely on your mind this week as you come in. It might be something that you discuss with this person that you're coming together with, or you're kind of thinking about too when it comes to your past. What is just ahead of you is the King of Cups. So lots of royalty now, a couple of royalty cards on the table, which tells me there's other people involved in this situation. Anytime I start to see a lot of different royalty cards come out, I think, of course, we already have a two here. And this could be kind of the realms in which the two of you bring to this situation, right? One is very intellectual, one's very emotional. My cat is knocking things out. Come here. Why are you being destructive? Well, you can't just knock things over in here. Okay. But yeah, so two of you bringing things together, coming into the situation again, one intellectual, one maybe emotional. That could be kind of a thing that happens there too. In your advice position, Leo, Queen of Wands. So again, lots of royalty gathering here, lots of people. This could be something that occurs at a gathering, maybe this conversation or something, that there's just a lot of people around you. So Queen of Wands is kind of that maternal understanding and knowledge about passion. So, but this is kind of the softer side of it. But again, it's someone who knows, who understands, how that passion works in their life, but also with their kingdom, how the people around them work in that realm also. And it's just kind of, someone who's a little bit more observant, right? Than, and is watching over other people, besides being in control of their thing as well. What is beyond your control this week is the Chariot. So, as you gather this information or come together with this person, you might start to form kind of a plan to make some sort of move in your life. And this could be anything. There's really no designator here about what this might be, but I call the Chariot, it's kind of like the getting ready to do something, the getting ready to make a move. And it could be in any part of your life. I'm not seeing any, again, this is brought on, or this kind of energy happens here in the Ace of Pentacles, which is usually kind of a new financial opportunity, worldly opportunity that comes in. But I feel like that's the root at which this gathering begins, right? What is your secret desire, or what you're trying to avoid, is the Five of Wands. So you're trying to avoid, maybe some sort of discussion, debate, or it's your secret desire to do that. Some people enjoy debate. Some people, just because you're debating doesn't mean it has to be a negative thing. Sometimes it's fun, banter, debating, bringing up, being the devil's advocate, bringing up something just to start an argument, uh, to start a debate. I have some adult children of mine that love to do this and with me. So we end up having, they love to take the devil's advocate. And I feel like sometimes it takes me a few minutes before I even catch on that they're doing it to me, and I start, and they just do it to get me revved up. But anyway, so are you trying to avoid that? Avoid some sort of debate, or is it your secret desire to have that debate? That'll be your big question this week, Leo. In your outcome position is the Ten of Wands, which, I'm about to start calling the Ten of Wands here the star of the readings this week, because I feel like I've seen him in so many readings. A lot of people are pushing towards the end, and we're kind of at the end of a moon cycle anyway, and that's pretty typical anyway, that some things would be wrapping up. But yeah, it looks like you're kind of doing some sort of final push, to maybe get ready for this Chariot, to get ready for kind of a different movement. I would expect to see, perhaps a Magician in your next reading, something where you're kind of wrapping something up, but you're about to start focusing on the next thing you're about to manifest, right? What is hidden from you this week is the Three of Cups, which is kind of our celebration and part. Maybe it's not time for that. It's not time for celebrating just yet. You're doing some work. Maybe this week is a little bit more about focus, getting things done, than it is, relaxing and celebrating it. Maybe that comes next week. So let's get a final message here. Let's see. Balance spirituality and practicality. Let's stop and take a minute and look at this. So, I'm going to say that part of this will have to do with, look at all the royalty again on here. And we've got almost every suit. We've got the pentacle. We don't have the pentacles represented in your suit as far as royalty, but we do have an ace here. So that's very interesting. Anyway, balancing your spirituality and practicality. Be who you are and think about the spiritual ways in which you want to live your life. This could come up with almost any of these situations here, and just make sure that you're being really who you want to be, and make sure you're kind of balancing that out and putting that into the practical world. That's kind of, and as you're going through whatever it is that you're going through, again, there's a lot of people involved, and just around you this week. I don't even see that it's like a lot of specific activity. It looks like you are coming together with someone. There's something about, about your past that you'll be thinking about. And in this 3 was something where, maybe you learn some information, and it's kind of, it's kind of heartbreaking or annoying. Like I said, this can be an intellectual card too, that you're just kind of annoyed that that's the way you're learning some new information that maybe you just don't like. Anyway, okay, let's go on here with the Soul Oracle deck. Let's get you a final message. This is pretty general this week. Accept what is dying. Okay, so do that. That might be something here with this final push and into moving into this Chariot energy of kind of getting ready for, getting ready to make a move. With every ending comes a new beginning, and rejuvenate. So rejuvenate yourself. Again, I don't see that there's a whole lot of specific. You're kind of dealing with people this week. You're dealing with people on different things. It's nothing too dramatic. It's nothing too specific. You do need to ask yourself if you're avoiding debate or if you're trying to, bring that on in some area. And it could be with all of these people that you're around. That maybe. Maybe you do want to, like I said, kind of be the devil's advocate, bring up subjects that are fun to discuss. Debates don't have to be fights. You can certainly be adults and discuss things and have fun. That's a fun thing to kind of hash things out. And again, if you're prone to being the devil's advocate, that's fun. You learn about people that way. You learn about what buttons, where you can push buttons, and what people believe about certain topics. So anyway, Leo, I hope that this reading is helpful to you in some manner. Tarot is a template. You might apply this to so many different parts of your life. There might be someone, at work that you're coming together with. It might be, an old friend that comes up, but it looks like you have some sort of communication coming up here with someone that could be somehow connected to or related to your past. So Leo, thank you so much for joining me today. I do appreciate your time here. I hope there was something in this reading that you can take away. Again, I feel like this week is very general, and that's good for you. It doesn't look like you have a lot going on this week. It's just kind of a mellow week, and you're kind of bouncing off some different energies, probably within yourself and with other people. Drop me a comment if you're comfortable sharing. Let me know what it is you guys are going through this week. Did you meet a friend that was someone from your past? Um, did you get together and hang out? I'd be very curious to hear that. I do post readings every week, so come back next week and we'll see if this energy continues for you or if there's something completely new for you. I don't know why you can't see those cards down there. So sorry about that. I just looked up and saw that. Anyway, like I said, if you like my reading style, please like and subscribe. To make sure that you're balancing your spirituality and practicality this week. You just make sure that that's on the forefront of your mind, as you move through your week. Are you making, are you doing things in the physical world that are in line with how you want to be spiritual, spiritually, and the things that you've kind of laid down for yourself, and ways to be? Just make sure you're doing that. So Again, I post every week, so come back next week and we'll see if there's a totally new energy here for you. If this kind of mellowness continues for you, which is fine. Not every week in everybody's life is very exciting. Some weeks are kind of boring, and actually, that's fine. Especially this week when you should be taking some time to just kind of quietly rest and meditate. So, good luck to you, Leo, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for coming. Bye bye.